Hey everybody, June is upon us and you know what that means. It's hot scent summer. Right now at Too Sincere, there's a new duo sure to turn some heads. I'm talking about Hot Mom and Dad Bod, the new limited edition pair of summer fragrances at TooSincere.com. Hot Mom is like good times and tan lines, like suntan lotion made from refreshing coconut milk with hints of mango and pineapple. And then there's Dad Bod, sea salt and khaki vibe going on here, the calming scent of sea salt on a sun-warmed beach, ocean waves settling along the sand. The Hot Mom and Dad Bod soy candle duo includes 2 9-ounce soy candles. Supplies are limited. Get them while they last. And for my Chronicle listeners out there, I got a promo code just for you. Right now, JMC15 will get you 15% off your next order at TooSincere.com. This excludes items already on sale, and the offer is valid through July 31st, 2022. You already know what I think about TooSincere.com. I love them, so check out the clean burning, awesome, fragrant soy candles they got at TooSincere.com. Go there now. For the most part, whether we know it or not, we are trying to hustle life. We are trying to outsmart and outmaneuver this thing called life, simply by trying to make plans to our liking, not realizing life happens on its own terms. And sometimes you may find yourself picking up the pieces and putting yourself back together. That is what our next guest wanted to share with myself and my audience here on the Journeyman Chronicles podcast. This week, we're talking to an old friend of mine, Dustin Kimm. And Dustin and I go back for a good part of 15 years. It had been a while, but he stopped by the Journeyman Chronicles and talked about what he's been up to, what he's gone through. We talked about his ups and downs on this road called life. We talked about his family. We talked about his career. We talked about how he finally put himself in a position to dictate his life as much as possible while still respecting how precious and unpredictable this life is. But enough of me talking. Let's get right into it. This is Dustin's journey, and these are the Journeyman Chronicles. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Who knows when you're listening, but I welcome you at all times of the day. That's the love that I have to share with you. I don't care what time it is. I'm here for you. That's what I do. Welcome back. The Journeyman Chronicles is back. Oh my goodness, I feel good. This is episode 35, and I'm talking to my boy Dustin Kimm. Dustin, like many of you, like myself, has been through some shit. But even while we navigate the treacherous waters of shit, we still find the diamond in the rough. That's life. And if you can take the time to find the beauty that is the diamond in the rough, then this life is worth it. This life is worth it. You know, Dustin and I used to work together at Quality Electric, Commercial Electric. I started that back in 2006. So, you know, in the 3 years that I worked there, 3-4 years, whatever it was, towards the end there, that's when Dustin came aboard, and we chopped it up over lunch. We talked about a bunch of bullshit. We got along. You know, Dustin was one of those cats that was just a real dude, real cool, straight shooter. If you didn't like it, too bad, but he wasn't an asshole about it. He was pure, he was honest, he was humble, and that's the kind of person that needs to be on the Journeyman Chronicles. And of course, Dustin reached out to me and was like, yo, I'd love to jump on the podcast. He stopped by. He drove an hour just to be on this podcast. That's how fucking dedicated my audience and my friends are. Thank you so much to all of you. And Dustin, I hope you're listening to this. I hope you are proud. I hope I do you proud. Let's get right to it. Let's share the journey that Dustin Kimm has been on. A lot of bullshit, a lot of good times. Obviously, we talk about family, and we talk about what his passion is and what makes him tick. And it's the little things in life. That's what I take from this interview. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's stop fucking around and let's get right to it. This is episode 35. Dustin Kimm. Let's go.
So you took what, half-hour drive?
An hour.
An hour?
Yeah.
God damn, I don't know where I'm going, man. So I appreciate it. Damn, I'm sorry. This is the only time I could do my interview, so thank you so much.
No, it's all good.
Out.
Listen, I got no kids tonight.
There you go.
The old lady's not feeling good, so it was like perfect time to get away for a minute.
Let her have some time alone. And there's no kids. I find that if I can get the kids to my in-laws or when my mom comes down, it's always it's good.
Yeah.
Get those extra 8 hours of whatever. Sometimes I'm like, man, I can get some sleep in, or I can catch up on some shit, and I end up going out with my wife and we end up drinking and spending money. It's a fucking horrible shit show, but it's always worth it at the
Typically,
end.
that's what we end up doing if we don't have the kids. If they go to their other parents or whatever, we're like, oh, we ain't got no kids. Let's just.
What do you like to do? You just go out for a bar or something?
To eat.
Yeah. What do you like? What do you like eating?
Sushi.
Yeah. Oh, get
Mexican.
the fuck out.
Oh yeah, dude.
Sushi. I never pegged you for a sushi guy.
Dude, I love sushi.
Yeah?
That's man. I go in, I'm just like, I have to look at, because everywhere says, it's, California roll. That's just your basic one. I'm just you throwing that out there. I don't really eat that so much. But
yeah,
it's still made a little bit different everywhere. So I'll go through, dude, I sit there and I'll go through every ingredient on everything. Be like, I want this. I want a tuna one with this in it. You know what I mean?
So you experiment with the sushi?
A lot.
Yeah, I tried it, dog. What are the different combinations of sushi? I just think of raw fish.
No, I mean,
what do you
typically I like salmon and tuna. Raw tuna is my favorite.
Okay.
And raw salmon. Those are my two favorite.
I do like raw
anything
salmon.
with them. You know what I mean? Like avocados or cucumbers or.
Oh, so I didn't think of that shit.
Yeah, it's man.
I'm so narrow-minded when it comes to sushi. I'm just realizing. So I gotta get my sushi game on.
My kid. Oh, dude, the kids eat it.
Oh, you got the kids on it too.
Oh yeah, see, it gets expensive though. So just like.
How expensive, if you don't mind me asking? Dude. Family of what? Family of 4, 3, what?
Well, it was me and my son, and then my lady, she has 3 kids of her own.
Okay.
So we have 4 kids together.
Okay.
So none together, but
I dig it. You're raising six kids.
No, just 4.
Oh, okay.
Just 4.
I'm sorry. 4 kids. Party is 6, so to speak.
Yes, party is 6.
Family is 6. You're raising 4 kids, and you're talking about how often are you eating sushi?
Oh, dude, that's a special
weekly
thing now. No. See,
it's only for a special occasion.
Oh yeah, when it's all the kids. Oh yeah, special occasions.
Are they always
They always want to do that.
Yeah,
all right, so you guys can pick anywhere you go. That's what they want.
Get out! I can't even get my kids to eat fucking broccoli.
Oh, dude, what? My stepson and my son will eat anything. All vegetables, broccoli, wings, sushi. They'll try crickets. You know what I mean? They'll eat anything under the sun and like it in any meal. You don't have to. No pickiness. The daughters, on the other hand, they eat chicken fingers, French fries.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So that's there's a definite divide in the food in the house. So
I like it. With that, I feel, no offense, but I feel a little better because I'm like, okay, because that's what it's like with us. It's like we got the pizza rolls, the chicken fingers, the French fries, and then there's home cooking between my wife and my mother-in-law, and it's like, you guys don't want to bang out some of this, and sometimes they will. My son's pretty good at it.
Yeah, my
son is, he taps in to the hungry man in him, and he'll bang out some rice and beans, the cliche Spanish food.
See, I love it. Cliche Spanish food. I love it.
But there's little things where it's like, but this is Spanish food. Try it, and they're like, no. My 3-year-old right now, it's someone got her hooked on pizza rolls. I don't know who did it. I want to probably my oldest. So now she's just like, no, I just want pizza rolls. I'm like, no, or yogurt or Jello, or she wants cereal now at 9:00 at night. Like dumb shit like that. So you know how it goes. Sometimes you give in, and sometimes you try to set the rules, set your foot down. And
our weakness in our home is ice cream. So like I'm an ice cream guy like every night.
Yeah,
so I had to put the foot down, and I'm like,
I was doing that.
Yeah.
So you can see. Yeah, that shit gets carried away. You're like, I haven't been eating ice cream every night, and you're like, no, I have been.
It's been like 2 weeks every night. You know what I mean?
So our history is we worked together.
Yeah.
We met. Actually, I remember the job we were on. I was, if I'm not mistaken, working for Quality Electric. It was at the Mennonite Homes by Park City Mall. That's when I remember meeting you.
That's when I started.
Okay, so that's when you started. Was that your first job?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
that was my first official electrical job.
Yeah, that was. I mean, working for Quality, I didn't have any experience until working for Quality, but that was one of my favorite places. And I remember, we had a lot of dope conversations. I can't remember the topics per se, but I remember always being enjoying having a serious conversation, especially during lunch break, going to the trailer, shooting the shit. Between that and I don't know if you remember, but we would show me movies because he couldn't watch movies. So he always wanted to watch. I hope it's okay. I hope you don't watch. He should be watching this now anyway. But we had a foreman that was Mennonite. They were a Mennonite family.
Mennonite family.
But Mennonite was not your typical Mennonite.
No.
And
not at all. AC/DC.
Yeah. Always wanted to bring movies in. We would be introducing him to pop culture, Americana culture,
like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I remember just bringing all kinds of other people bringing in movies, and every lunch break we'd sit in the trailer and watch movies, and he'd be laughing at them, and it was funny. I'd already seen most of them, but it was funny to watch somebody else because then you experience it for the first time for yourself. Yeah. So whether it was acceptable or not, I don't know. Have you seen anybody besides you talked about? You've seen Vi, but
yeah, I see Vi. I'm still in contact.
Oh, really?
Vi. My brother works with Vi, so definitely still close.
Let him know I said hi.
Will do.
Maybe you can share. Is he on Facebook?
He just got on Facebook, so you have to find him out there.
I'm going to have to, because I remember when we were working together, I said, you got to get on Facebook. It just started. He was like, no.
He just got on Facebook in the past year, so.
That's a good cat. I loved working that type of, that environment of going from different place, job site to job site, meeting different people, working with different trades, kind of going in line with what I'm doing now with the podcast, meeting different people, getting to know different people, expanding your knowledge. The world is a lot bigger than your backyard. A job like that,
for sure,
you're going to fucking meet all different kinds of people, and that was the first time I ever worked a job where I was told to fuck off in a nice way or in a not so nice way within a 5-minute span. It was like people just did not give a shit, but they also gave a fuck. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it's that there's a pride thing there.
Yeah.
But they don't, they care about you to do your thing. Everybody's there as a team. We're here, whatever. But
it's cutthroat.
It's real quick, a real quick fuck you,
Yeah, the drywallers didn't like the fucking electrician.
Yeah,
the plumbers didn't like the fucking drywallers.
Oh, dude, I just came off of one over here in Mannheim and for 8 months, but it was like you said, the diversity and the people and stuff, and it was we had our crew, we had Spanish background or
sure.
Kenny,
you
know what I mean?
It was a huge mixture
of guys, and city boys and country boys,
yeah.
And this but everybody's there for one common goal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's what's the cool thing about it. But the job I just came off over here, it was whole crews of that.
Oh,
so you had this whole crew was Spanish.
Yeah.
This whole crew was Mennonite.
Yeah.
This whole crew was Amish. And you know how that, I mean, it was just like a.
So you mean like the crew, like, but there's different trade. Is it
Yeah,
the
so
trade?
I mean, like each crew of the trades, like your roofers, they were all Mennonite
Oh
guys.
shit!
Yeah, like, so I've been noticing that more instead of like all of a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like it's like it seems it was the first time I've been on a huge commercial job in a while.
Okay.
But it was definitely more of a Spanish crew doing you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, you had Mennonites over
Yeah.
here, or people doing tile or whatever. But we had these guys from Ukraine. You know,
Okay.
all the woodwork. Do you know what I mean? It was just like certain races or ethnic backgrounds.
Creeds and
It was just like that was the crew and that was it. You know,
so
what
that's
I mean?
got to be cool because I guess if you're communicating, the job foreman especially has to fucking get along or at least talk. You have to talk with all different types of people in that regard.
Yes.
You just can't get away from who speaks English here. Who can I relate to here? You're going to have to break the ice, so to speak. And yeah, I know what you mean. And I don't remember working with a job like that at Quality or just commercial electric at that time. What we were doing, it was always just like there was a mixture in each trade for the most part, but there was a mixture.
Yep.
But yeah, I where I work at now, I get the same vibe. I was telling my brother-in-law that because my brother-in-law got me the job at Quality. He worked actually in the power automation side. David Valentine.
I remember him.
Yeah. So I'm talking to him about Tate, and I'm like, it reminds me of like what power automation was doing, but like on a global scale.
Yeah.
And the different types of people that you meet. And I like that because you don't get comfortable with working with certain types of people. And I've had jobs like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, even FedEx was like that, very diverse. You don't get comfortable. You have to work with different types of people because you got to live with.
Yeah.
For the most, sometimes. I mean, I always feel bad for people who live a life, but they've only been, like I said, that backyard is their only world. Nothing else exists. That world is their 6-block radius. They know everybody. They grew up with everybody. Everybody knows each other's name, which I think is cool. But it's also like, dude, there's a whole fucking world out here.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And that there is a whole world out there. You know what I mean? And thankful I've got to travel and experience a lot of different with work and stuff.
You traveled. So where'd you go with work then? You traveled.
I built log cabins. Like I might have done. I want to say I did that.
Before Quality.
Before Quality. Yeah, I was doing the log cabin gig. So, I worked at the San Francisco Zoo.
What?
Yeah, I worked at Yellowstone National Park.
What were you doing there?
Building log cabins.
So the log cabin, you said that was before Quality. Did you go back to doing log cabins?
No, actually.
Would you consider that? Was that carpentry? That's not.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of what got me into the electric thing.
Okay.
Because our electrician quit, like, when we were out on the road one day, and they were like, we need somebody to learn how to do electric. I was loved wiring stuff.
Yeah.
I was no background or anything.
You were like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, fuck, exactly.
White goes to white, black goes to black.
Exactly. I was like, I got this. So I did that and shit till I came with you the first day. I didn't know fucking anything else. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because you jumped in pretty well. I mean, I was still learning myself at that time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I think everybody was learning.
Yeah.
We were just, we all kind of grew together. But yeah, I didn't know anything until that point, really. But I was doing the log cabin gig, dude. I got to work at San Francisco Zoo, and I was there for like a month. You know what I mean? San Francisco.
Yeah,
like it was expensive to eat there every day, but like.
So there's log cabins at the fucking zoo?
Yeah, it was. Dude, I was there. They built this little kids learning center, and it was going to be a log cabin.
Oh, okay.
So in the zoo, like I got to work. It was like the bird area. So we had, dude. It was the cake job in the world.
Yeah.
We had to work at like 9 to 11, and then you have to be quiet from like 11 to 1, and then you can make noise from like you have to no hammering or nothing from like those quiet times. So you're building a log cabin.
So what are you doing then from 9 to or from 11 to 1?
Barely anything.
Are you reading?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, barely.
You got your headphones
That's
on,
what I'm saying,
your earbuds in.
You know, you could work for like 3 hours in the morning, then you had to be quiet for 2 hours, then you could work for 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And dude, I got locked in the zoo one night. Our hotel was right on the other side of the road, so we were cleaning up one night. Well, the zoo closed at 5. Boom, they start locking gates, whatever. If we're not cleaned up and out of there, they're not rechecking us, whatever.
Yeah.
So I said, everybody went out to the truck one night. Well, they locked the main gate, and I was like, shit. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go walk around the zoo. Fucking take a walk around, chill. I jumped the wall in the back. My hotel's right there. So like, dude,
and you were able to do that?
well, I started walking through.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. There's more to the story. All right. I thought that was it. I was like, it can't be that easy.
So I start walking through. Well, whatever. I run into security, and he's like, "Hey, are you one of those construction workers?" I say, "Yeah." He says, "Oh," he's like, "Let me let you out of here." I say, "Yeah, I got locked out. I was just going to jump the wall." He's like, "Dude, you don't want to be walking around here. Animals can get out and stuff."
Oh shit!
And I was like, "Nah," you know what I mean? Like,
you think he was fucking with you?
yeah, dude. It was, I don't know, with like 6 months later on Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
3 months later. I think we were there in September. So it was like 3 months later on Christmas Day or some shit like that. That lion jumped out that fucking cage and got that dude.
Are you fucking... You were there, dude.
Yeah.
So that
hey, lunch at that motherfucker every day looking at him. You know what I mean?
Get out. What happened with him?
That dude got killed.
He got killed by a fucking lion.
Yeah.
So
yeah, look that shit up, man. It's
like while he was working, like what?
Nah, he was taunting some dumbass kid taunting, hanging over and fucking thing. Got him.
I guess they don't make these fences tall enough.
Well, that was the thing. The thing was built in the 80s and shit, or 70s or whatever. So they would tell me stories. Zookeepers there would tell me stories of like San Francisco and 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
and what a shithole the zoo was.
Okay,
so we were there. They were trying to revamp it, make it alive again.
Fair enough.
And dude, they would tell me they would sit back and the zookeepers would chill with the chimps and shit and drop acid with them together and paint pictures and shit all around the zoo together and shit. That's how like shit was ran. You know what I mean? Like, just craziness and shit.
So the chimpanzees were fucking tripping on acid? Is that what I'm hearing right now? Some things zoos for me, I don't know how you feel. Zoos for me, like I always thought they were cool when I was a kid. And then when my kids were born, we would have I'd take them to the zoo, the traditional trip to the zoo, and the kids would see the animals. And of course, all my kids love seeing the animals. But the older I got, the more I was like, man, these fucking animals are just in cages. And we're there staring at them and poking at tapping on the glass or making noise. I don't know how I feel anymore about what's going on in an animal's mind at the zoo. And when they snap and they get taken down. I'm like, well, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? The lion's going to jump over the fence.
Exactly.
The gorilla's going to pull at you.
I was actually talking about the gorilla there the other day to the kids. I said, not many things have intimidated me in life. Not many men, whatever. I'll tell you what, man. I looked at that gorilla eye to eye when I was walking around. That motherfucker looked down in my soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would want to die before they got to me.
Yeah.
If they were loose, I would hope that something killed me before they did, because the strength that those fucking animals have,
dude, it's insane.
Yeah.
Totally off subject, but have you ever seen the Netflix special Animals or whatever it's called?
No.
Where the animals decide to take down human technology?
No.
And see who's in charge after that?
No.
Oh, dude.
No. Is that what is that?
I think it's on Netflix.
Like a series or something?
Yeah.
It's fictional.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure
but
if
the
it was
animals decide to start taking down podcasts.
It's kind of like
blocking signals,
like Planet
and stuff.
of the Apes, the
thing,
three movies that came out.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you've been up to, because quality and everything we're talking about, working together, that was I worked there from 2006 to 2009, and Quality Electric went under, and everybody was like, "Well, we're getting laid off," and we were all like, "Well, we know what that means." So, what happened with you? My last job, I was working with Dan somewhere, working. I forget what the fuck we were doing. It was such a like. I don't know about what your experience was, but towards the end, it was kind of like we were working with other electricians from other outfits, and I felt like they were just giving us, like, they were throwing us a bone.
I felt like that, while we were even over here.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay,
like, it was like,
yeah.
I felt some kind of way. We're out there, at lunchtime or at the wire or whatever, and there, everybody's like, there were comments made then,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I always got that vibe, and I was just like, man, what did I get myself into? And like, the thing is, I look back at it, and and what a shitty situation, but like, it really opened so many doors in my life.
Sure.
And you know what I mean? And like, opened opportunities to where I'm at now. You know what I mean? By like, I do work for myself as an electrician, you know what I mean? And I make a decent living, and like, I take time off. My son races. I get to take off time when we need to and travel and do whatever I need to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, without that initial start, I don't think I would have that up. But you can always go back and say, well, then that would have.
Yeah, but you can do that about anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can keep going on with that. But towards the end there, it was really awkward. I remember calling and saying like, hey, I got another job.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because we were laid off, but like just out of respect, I still said like,
that was cool. Okay, yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna go work for somebody else just in case if you guys are planning something, you know what I mean, call me back, whatever. And I went and worked for Sharan.
Okay, never heard.
You never heard of them?
No.
Okay, they were a new company when they started out when Quality went under.
Oh, okay.
So I went there, and I was there for a few years, but not a good experience whatsoever. It was
really?
just, talk about cut through, I mean, it was just bad. It was, your number, just one of those things.
Gotcha.
I've never been down for that mentality. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I just wasn't. Even at Quality, I felt we were treated very well.
Yeah.
And like, we were people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're
That's
right.
that's a huge thing. It's always been a huge thing with me. Like, and then I went to Sharan, and I got that mentality. And what I mean? It rubs off on you too. So then,
Sure.
like, I was becoming that
Gotcha.
asshole, the electrician, like, fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my way or no way, like, fuck, there is no, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it was molding me into the electrician I didn't like to be.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I got out of that and got into another place, and that's when it, like, I saw the manifestation of that, like, the bullshit electrician, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, in charge of everything, and like, and I just didn't like it at all. And then I got away from that after a couple of years, and actually, I said Vi, him again. He said about this opportunity with working for this private contractor doing the Turnpike gig, and went there. I was there for like 5 years almost.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So like, it was a nice gig for a while, and then that kind of slowed up, and they laid off like half the guys, whatever. So I moved on and started doing my own thing.
Yeah.
The COVID kind of happened and shit, and it was just like back to square one. So
Yeah.
I've just been doing my own thing since.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Though.
just kind of just living life and taking it easy and
You had
being happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you mentioned still trying to. How'd you word? I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah.
And I liked how you said that, because it's like I tell my kids this, but my oldest, who I tell her the most because she's the one that's transitioning now to adulthood with college, and I'm like, don't think you're gonna fucking figure out what you want to do right now.
Not at
you
all.
may have an idea.
Yeah.
You may be very passionate about it, but it's going to change. And so it's okay that it changes. Like, it's okay to be, I'm still trying to figure this shit out, as long as you're still trying.
Exactly.
And you're not sitting playing video games and have no job, and you're in the basement of your parents' house, which would never happen. I love you, baby. You know what I mean? But like,
I do know exactly what you
it's
mean.
like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, and I think that's cool, because when you have that mentality, like you're you're already accepting of life's peaks and valleys.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Without the lows, you don't ever experience the highs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like exactly right. You know what I mean? And dude, like we were talking before we sat down here, and that's just I'm still doing electric work, but it's still like you know what I mean. Like there's always more I could be doing. You know what I mean? There's always something I'm looking for to like really satisfy. That's dude, I don't.
You don't know.
That's the
I know
question.
You've got like this creative. Like you would always do shit for Halloween.
Yeah, I had the whole Halloween. So that's still sitting in the back burner in a storage unit. Sitting, all of it.
Because that's
all there.
I remember you always doing that, and like that's the creative in you.
Yeah,
like,
Psychedelic Skulls Productions.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's still.
What happened there? You just life took its course.
Divorce.
Yeah, get out. Okay, another thing we can relate to.
Yeah, man. I dumped my heart and soul in that. You know that was a really big thing for me, and it was a huge thing for me, and it took a lot of time and effort. And I was building that place out there in the woods. I had like 3 years, and just one thing after another, just building at it, and building at it. And we split up, and it was just kind of like tearing that down was just like.
Oh, you had to tear it down.
Oh yeah.
So you tore it down because you took it and put it in storage.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we were separated. We were going to be together.
But it's not like you said, "Fuck it, I'm letting."
No. And then I tried to throw something up in a month or something, real quick. It's been 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
We tried to do something in my buddy's field real quick, and it was just like, dude, this. What took me 3 years to build, I can't set up in a month.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like I put it in storage, and it's kind of like it is so funny you brought this up, and when my woman listens to this, she's gonna be like, "Fucking told you so."
That's how it always is.
Because I often talk about selling it all. I'm like, dude, I'm just sitting there. Sell everything and start over. You know what I mean? Like production and like. New equipment, you know what I mean? Like we were just on before, the shit is so advanced. Like I'm still, that shit's been a decade old.
Yeah.
So I'm, it's like,
think about that.
Yeah, that's how I look at it now, and I'm just kind of like, fuck it, but I still got it. We'll see what's there. We'll start over. If I want to someday.
But you're already thinking of the upgrades that would need to take place. Is that what I'm getting?
Oh man,
like the advancements where you're like, I'm using this, and I've got this wired this way, and I'm gonna have to upgrade that. I'm gonna have to, and then it's like, oh, there go the gears.
Yeah. I mean, they do go a lot, like a lot still. So it's definitely something that if the door opens again someday, and I see it. Being something I want to jump into, it definitely will do it again. But it's got to be something that I can put all my heart and soul into.
Yeah.
It is something I'm very passionate about. I can't half-ass it.
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just remember Halloween for you is like, that's like your fucking favorite. Am I right?
Yeah.
I remember
I just have fun. It's so fun.
Yeah.
And crazy. And like, it was me and my grandmother shared that together. You know what I mean? She was my best friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was always something that like we shared together, childhood, whatever. So growing up, it was always a huge part of my life, and you know what I mean. So it's definitely just something. Again, the creativity of it, like, and I'm not like a fart and piss joke kind of guy. Like I like crazy, like I like visual effects.
Yeah,
and like
I remember. Yeah,
like.
But you go all in.
Yeah,
is what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no limit to the gore, to the.
See, I do the gore aspect of it, and I'm into some gory stuff. I have this gory design stuff, whatever, but that's not really what I'm about.
Okay,
I'm more like the psychological aspect of it. Like I figure, like, dude, if you mess with somebody's sight, if you take away their senses, as soon as you start taking away,
fuck with them.
You know how easy it is to fuck with somebody?
Yeah.
You got them.
Yeah.
You start taking people's senses away. So I design all my stuff that way.
Gotcha.
That's how all my, you know what I mean? It's like to take away senses from you, and then I mess with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like blood and gore stuff so much. It's more just like...
playing with your mind.
Yeah.
And like how it affects them afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I need you fucking shit in your pants 3 hours after you leave my shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like, I started working with holographic type things and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and lasers and projectors and stuff. That's like kind of something I toy with every year. I set up for the kids at home. Like this year, I have a cool.
You already got an idea for this year?
Yeah,
Is that normal? Every year you're already like 3 months ahead playing?
It's actually just came back to like last year. I kind of started bringing it back a little bit, and
Really?
The kids are a huge thing on that. They're like, love it. And it's just like, all right, what I do everything for them. You know what I mean? Like, all right, sure.
Do they remember like when you used to do
Well,
it? Are they still too young?
I haven't been. So my girlfriend's, because we've only been together for like 2 years.
Okay.
So they don't know.
They don't know that life.
No, my son does.
Okay.
And
So your son
like,
remembers.
So yeah, he's fully bent like.
He's been waiting for you.
Oh yeah. So we had a pretty nice setup last year, and it was pretty cool. But like I said, there's something I wanted to do last year, but again, I was like, I'm not rushing nothing.
Yeah.
Next year I'll start a couple months early, and we can set that up. I have this whole design thing on the house that'll just make the whole house like come alive.
Cool.
So like,
tell me about like how did you handle your divorce, if you don't mind talking about that, because I know
shitty, man.
Yeah, I know. Like when the reason why I wanted to go back to that is because when you brought up having to tear all that shit back down, like the symbolism and having to do that. Like I kind of remember when I went through my divorce and I had to go back into the house to get things, and I still had a foul taste in my mouth, and I had to, stomach this hour or so of. I did like electric work in the garage, and they were selling the house, and I had to. They weren't selling it; they were moving, and it was a rented home.
Yeah.
And I was like, that needs to be put back the way it was. I did that without the landlord knowing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the good person in me is like, I'll be over there, and I'm walking in, I'm like drilling this. So when you talk about, I had to tear all that shit down, there's like this double whammy where you're dealing with your divorce and you're tearing it down something that you've been working on for 3 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it is that, and it was a bad time for me. It really was, dude. Like I was never in drinking, whatever. I started drinking a lot, like heavily.
Okay.
And definitely one of the lowest points of my life, I can say.
Mm.
But I also knew I had my kid. I got to be there for my son. I got to be a dad. So also turn that shit around too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like definitely always like put him first. Thought about like it started being everything about him.
Yeah.
That's when everything started changing for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as long that kept my mentality through the whole thing. And that's went to therapy.
Yep.
Me and her sat in therapy.
You went therapy with her?
Yeah, just to like that. The cup's court ordered. After the divorce, it was
so.
court
How
ordered.
was that? I've never
child,
heard of that.
So
you went to therapy with the woman that you divorced.
Yes,
for the child. For the child,
that was court ordered through, for the best interest of the child,
right?
And the custody agreement.
So what are you guys trying to, if you don't mind, like in that case, are you discussing in therapy how to better co-parent then? Like
I guess that was my kind of breakthrough for myself. Like therapy, like we're sitting there, that's kind of like that's a final draw, like last resort. Everything, everything's out on the fucking table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, nothing's talked about.
Get out.
Oh yeah. So it was kind of like, dude, and this is it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of where you're at. You know what I mean? And that was kind of like settling for me. I guess I was like, all right.
Was that more on her part? I'm assuming?
Yeah.
She just wasn't divulging.
You know what I mean? Like there was just no communication even there.
Wow.
So it was kind of like that was like my peace.
Yeah.
With it, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how I handled it. Then, and it was just like, it's the bygones be bygones, and let's move on with life. And like I said, I make everything about my kid, and that's where we're at.
So what did you do at that point? Is it the traditional? You said you went through your moment. How long did that last? Was that a year, a couple years?
I'd say a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
even during that, though, you still maintained focus on your son.
Always.
So-
It wasn't like I was drinking with my kid.
No,
or
no,
anything. Like,
absolutely. But
you know what I mean?
But
I have 50-50 custody from day one.
I don't think
You know what I mean?
a lot of people understand. Like, I had a dark moment, but my attention was still on my children. I don't know if people understand like that. Does that make sense? Where you can like juggle this? I'm letting myself go, but I'm still holding on to this part that my son needs.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, but everything else about me is I'm letting
Shit.
it go.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit.
And it's
whatever.
it's an exhausting experience. Now mine wasn't a couple years, but I went through therapy for myself, and I was able to kind of see the end of the tunnel. When you're going through that, do you have family to lean on? Do you have friends to?
Yeah, I mean, and you don't want to talk to people a lot of times. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't want.
Yeah.
So a lot of that didn't happen. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I have people there.
People reach out or no?
Yeah. People
Okay.
check on you and stuff, but it just I don't know. Like I
Sure.
said, it's just definitely. I wanted to just like not talk about it ever. You know what I mean, or deal with it at that point or whatever. You know, I had a couple family members I talked with, and I just felt like it kind of just made this weird feeling between people, and I don't. You know what I mean? And it just like a war. You know what I mean? I just then you're expressing to this person. Well, why are you expressing to this person about this? You know what I mean? Like, and I just didn't. It was just nixed all that. You know what I mean? Just stay to myself and be quiet and get through this shit. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much it. But like, you face yourself too. You know what I mean? A lot. You definitely you either grow from it, you stay the same person, one or the other. You know what I mean? Like either you see no wrongs, or you definitely see where your wrongs are and you try to grow from them. You know what I mean? And I think that I've definitely every day try to grow. I said that before. Like I ain't trying to be the best. I'm definitely not the best father who walks the face of this earth. Definitely not the best man who walks the face of this earth.
Yeah.
But I wake up every day and just try to do a little bit better. You know what I mean?
But the kids see that.
Boom. Exactly.
Like, and you don't know that until they say, like, my kids will one day just remind me, like, how I motivate them or inspire them. I'm like, I didn't even realize you're even fucking paying attention to me,
Dude,
guy. You know what I mean?
A lot. I get. Now, Father's Day was like, my son made me this book on a Father's Day this year, and it was like one of the most emotional. And right before I came here, my woman gave me a picture. My son won a national race this year.
That's awesome.
And it was like, it's just us two. Like, I'm breaking down, like hugging him. You know what I mean? And like, I'll break down now.
Yeah.
But like,
that's what children do.
It was like one of the happiest moments of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she caught a picture of it, and she gave that shit to me. Like,
so it's a
in
candid
frame.
photo. It wasn't like a posed photo.
No. She took a photo and like now it's in this frame. You know what I mean? And that's what I said to my son. And it's just like those moments. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't realize like how inspirational it is or how much it means until like you see it later. You know what I mean? Or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Well, talking with Dustin when it came to the children in his life, when it came to his son, you can tell that it's very, very an emotional topic for Dustin. He got very teary-eyed, and I respected that because as men, we can be, somewhat educated to keep that shit parked away. So I can relate. I'm very emotional and sensitive when it comes to my children. So here's a man who's very passionate about his family, his children. So I'm excited to keep this going. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, Dustin, we talk a little bit more about his children. We talk about his lady Ashley and how they met. We also talk about the perspective of life and how sometimes you can just get lost in the everyday hustle and bustle, so to speak. Take a step back and just appreciate where you've come from and what you've gone through and how far you've come. So that's coming up next.
close are you with your son? That's your right hand right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. He's my heart and soul, man.
Yeah.
So
Is he like his dad? I mean, he's doing his racing. Were you doing racing too at that age?
No, listen,
Where's
we were
he
hanging out
where's he getting that
a
from?
lot. My whole family's into racing. My
Okay.
dad raced. So when we were that age, we were at the go-kart track chilling and shit, you know what I mean? But you know, we didn't race so much, you know what I mean? We got to play around it every now and then, but
Yeah.
we do it. My brother does it for his kids, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like we do that shit for our kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's very passionate about it, but it makes our kids happy, you know what I mean? I try to get my stepdaughter into it. She got a little scared, but we're gonna suck her back in.
There you go.
We're gonna get her back out there.
There you go. So you have a stepdaughter. Tell me about your the children that your is it your wife now?
Well,
fiance,
no,
girlfriend?
Girlfriend. We just.
You're just living the day by day. Yeah. Let the cards fall where they may. Hey, let me tell you something, dude. One of the people that I interviewed before, actually, forgive me, I was on his podcast. I was on a podcast called Earspace, and but with Byron Morrison, and he sat in here also on my podcast. We swapped.
Yeah.
So I'm on his podcast, and we're talking about, he's like, talk about marriage, and he's like, what's the point of marriage? And I said, there isn't. It depends. It depends on who it is. If marriage is one thing to one person and another thing to another person, as long as you're fucking building. If you're not building with somebody, regardless if you're married or not,
you're just wasting time.
You're wasting all kinds of time.
Dude, and I was there for a while too. I mean, I had some bad relationships after.
That you weren't building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After,
Oh, so in between your divorce and
my current,
okay,
like totally. I had some,
that was all part of your.
That's all part of the, bullshit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? After marriage, but like I said, you finding yourself and shit and all of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, wasting time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just.
So what was it about? What's your girl's name? You don't mind me asking.
Ashley.
Ashley. So what Ashley comes into your life when? Where are we at now in your life?
Oh shit.
It's 2022, so we're talking like
2020.
Okay.
COVID.
Oh, so this is during the pandemic.
Nah, but I mean, we've been friends forever.
Okay, so you knew her already.
Oh yeah. We went to school together. Dated her best friends around high school.
Okay.
So like,
how's that kind of conversation take place every now and then?
They don't talk so much anymore.
Oh,
still like, high school. Still mad.
No, let it go. When did you graduate high school?
02.
Okay, so you're not too far. You're 4 years after me.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Ashley. You guys meet when? Like how?
Shit. She just hit me up randomly.
Get out.
Oh,
So she slid into your DMs.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. She I always tell the kids, like in 6th grade when I met her, I moved to her, fell in love with her, but I just never was good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now she lowered her standards and shit. So
lowered her standards. Come on, Dustin. Don't do that to yourself. So you guys live together?
Yeah, we live together.
She's got children. I know how I did this. So I'm curious when you're involving your children in a relationship with someone that has children, or even just regardless, when you're introducing somebody into your child's life, considering how important he is to you, I can already tell that that's something that you took, I'm sure, very seriously, because it's not you're not just like, hey, this is Ashley, she's going to be chilling here for the next.
No. It was definitely like we knew we were going to try to make something out of it because I child was involved in the previous relationship, which we were friends forever too, and it just kind of turned into a relationship. And I'm still close with her too.
Okay,
and, like I love her to death. I'll always be there for her. Just me and her mom didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, my son and her like love each other very much. So it was definitely that, like, man, it was heartbreaking to go through that, and then to do that again, it was just like, man, I don't know. But like, dude, he could. If me and my old lady split up, my son would be devastated.
There you go.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. So it would be like it would be devastating.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So like, he took very well to this thing.
All of it. You know what I mean. So we have a 16-year-old. That's her, and then she has a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Okay.
I have a 10-year-old.
Okay.
So we have the two 10-year-olds. boy and girl. Everybody thinks they're twins.
Gotcha.
The boy, my son's big boy. So her 13-year-old and my son are the same size, so everybody thinks they're twins.
Gotcha. Holy
So
shit.
like, and my son resembles her features. Her daughter resembles my features, like blue eyes, blonde hair. My son has brown eyes. You know what I mean? Dark, like you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So it's like it's just really odd. People never know. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, it's definitely, so it's a good mesh, and everybody works really. But Ryland's functioning autistic, and so like he never really had that interaction
with other children,
with so much with other children. Like you know what I mean? Like it was just like a nightmare, I guess, until we came into their lives, and people say that all the time, and it was just kind of like this breakthrough, I guess, and now like he's like chilled out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like whole new kid because of my son entering his life,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. And it's just like this whole everything just kind of meshes really, really super well. Everybody's like on the same
That's
page,
cool.
just chilling and living life and being happy,
living the dream, as they say.
Yeah, living the dream.
I've learned that when people say that, it's always like this. Yeah, everybody always says that, but it's like I am. You know, like it's okay to say that.
I have a friend that says it. I mean, that is like you can guarantee that's what he's going to say to you.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like you,
every time you see him,
hey, how you doing today? Living the dream.
Living the
you know
dream.
what I mean? And like that's like his. He walks by it every day. You know, and he's a happy guy.
People who find happiness in the little things are the most happiest, the most richest, they're just happy.
Yeah.
And I've learned to not question it and just kind of learn from those people and find the little things that make you happy so that you are living the life. And when I started doing that, it was like everything, you know, you have your peaks and your valleys, and sometimes, you know, the valleys are rough. But if you can't say I'm living the dream, then what are you doing?
You're waiting to die.
What are you doing? Like, a lot of people are looking for the next big thing to come in their life.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
it's just finding that I'm here. I'm good.
Yeah, like that's why, you know, that plateau, it's like I feel like, well, I'm just waiting to die at that point. Like, I need to be living life. You know what I mean? Like, experiencing, like, learning, finding something. Like, you said earlier, there's a whole fucking world out there, man.
Yeah.
Experiences, food, older people.
Yeah.
Like, a whole fucking world out there. Like,
I remember talking when we worked together. It was like we used to talk about music. I remember those conversations.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like actually blown away that there was a lot of like rap and hip hop that you knew of, and I was like, holy shit! Like at that time in my life, I wasn't aware of a lot of white people knowing hip hop. I grew up in Lancaster where it was like predominantly Black, Latino, and you had a few white people that knew of that. But when I was like, that was like at that time, I think I was like in my late 20s. My small, narrow-minded mind was, you know, beginning to expand. I was like, that's so dope. And that was when you hit me back up, I was like, that's one of the conversations that I do remember. We were just talking about like groups, or you were introducing me to like different type of, I don't know if Google was around back then, but you know what I mean? Like I'm
it's
trying
that time where there definitely
I'm trying to remember if I looked them up or not, but I
But-
remember those conversations. Are you still love listening to all
Dude,
kinds of music?
I loved all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a metal kid. I used to be in a metal band singing and screaming and stuff, but I love hip hop. I love it. You know what I mean? That's my heart and soul. Like, Bone Thugs, like it's 1999 Eternal, still my favorite CD to this day.
Yeah,
like it definitely is. But man, country music, like I like anything with soul or anything with like that's raw or just you know, just emotional. Like my favorite artist right now, Jelly Roll. I don't know if you know who that is. He's a white guy, but like. Definitely my favorite artist by far right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude can do it all, but it's all like just raw emotion, you know what I mean? And just there's a lot of artists out there that don't get that exposure. That's shame. I know that's something we always talked about. Like, and I don't like the sugar coated like this cookie cutter shit. You know, it's never been a thing of mine. But always experiencing underground music. My son's really really into underground, like hip hop and stuff. Like, he's like a huge Tech Nine fan.
Okay.
Obsessed with Tech.
Yeah.
Like my kid's from the '90s.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah.
Like straight from the '90s.
Yeah.
Like
Makes you, is that your influence though?
oh,
on
for
him?
sure. Like, I mean, it's definitely my influence on him. But like, he takes it. He can tell you who wrote what, when, with who, like who their girlfriend was at the time. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so cool.
Yeah, I always call him Suge White. He's real big. Got a chain.
Get out.
Yeah.
But your son, if I remember correctly, he wasn't obviously he wasn't born when we were working together.
I was just getting married.
Yeah, okay, those are starting to come back to me now.
So that was like, so definitely a lot of changes, a lot of experiences and growth since in this past 13 years since then. You know what I mean?
So what do you where's Dustin Kimm at now with his life? Like, where are you at now?
Trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. Like, nah, man, no, for real though. I'm one day at a time.
Yeah.
So, like, plan for the future, but just living every day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like, I want to be here. I want to enjoy my kids, and then that's kind of, dude. Kids are my life.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, pretty much. Hands down, that's where I'm at. Like,
kids do the same thing to me too.
They run me.
I start talking about my kids, and I'm like, I ain't talking about my kids no more. Because every time I think about all the shit that I've gone through, and my kids, my two oldest, obviously were with me, and then now where I'm at, when I asked you where's Dustin at now, the reason why I asked that is because there's times where I'll be sitting there, just in my backyard, and I'll be like, I have a fucking backyard. And I remember when I had nothing.
Crazy you say that shit, because it's literally just the other day, and it's those things like that humble me, and like it's this stuff, like, so I got a big 2500 heavy duty Silverado, badass, blacked out rims, fucking sweet truck.
Yeah, sounds beautiful.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I'm bitching. I was pumping gas in it the other day, and I'm fucking bitching. I looked across the street, and I like saw my old apartment. You know what I mean? I'm like standing there in front of my old apartment. I'm looking at it, and I was like, dude, you would have killed to be putting fucking gas in this back. You would have fucking killed to have something like this. And it's just that humbling, like, look how far you've come. You know what I mean? Like, look where you are. Look at things you do get for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody can take that shit from me. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, it's just little things like that. Like, I'm sitting there bitching, and then it's just like, yeah, I shouldn't be bitching.
You don't notice it.
Yeah,
in the during it.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's always like the perspective that you take from time to time. It's like, I don't notice it in the middle of life. I don't notice it living life, but it's like, I'll see a picture and I'll be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, look how far I've come. Look how far my kids have come. And how lucky I am now to be, married to the woman that I have, to have the children that I have with her, and also my children, that they all get along. Like, like that.
Oh, I do. I think about that all the time. It's just like, me and my woman talk about this a lot, and like I said, we've been friends since 6th grade.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we crack the jokes. Like I said, I fell in love with her that day. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. And but like, all shit aside, like, we both went through all the shit we went through in life so that we can appreciate each other where we are now. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't be where we are in our good relationship and have the appreciation of things that we have now.
You had to go through that.
If we didn't go through all that bullshit back then, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the thing about, like, the growing and seeing how far you come, and the appreciative, and like how good things you do have, Yeah. And choices you make, you know what I mean, to be where you want to be in that happiness, to get to where you want to be, you know what I mean?
Like, no, you don't have any regrets because it all happened the way it was supposed to.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't want to speak for you.
No. Hands down.
But it's that cliche, like, you know, my wife and I talk about that, and there are some things that I may regret, but if I was given an opportunity to change them, I don't think I would.
Bingo.
Because
Agreed.
I want to be right back where I am now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, agreed. And I believe way too much that changing anything wouldn't put me in that exact place that I'm at.
Go.
Or even have that thought process or appreciate or respect the things that I do have. You know what I mean? Or like the relationships I have with people, or the things that, you know, that you just everyday life kind of blurs out, you know.
I dig it, yeah.
So,
brother, I'm very grateful that we've chopped it up right now, because, you know, I'm remembering now the conversations that we had. It took me a while, but I've always appreciated genuine, authentic conversation. You've always been that type of cat, and I'm happy to see that you have not changed one bit, dog.
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, man.
Definitely, for sure. Glad to see you again.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'll make it so long next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Let Dandy know that we're gonna get. If he's got a job at the fucking Turnpike, I'm gonna find him on Facebook, and we can all work at the same place.
It's not for the Turnpike. Private.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna
But
let you go.
that's cool.
Because
I
I know
appreciate
you've got a long drive. We got an hour-long conversation already, bro.
Good.
Believe it or not, that's
Good.
dope. Yeah, I always aim for an hour.
Good.
So
I'm glad.
How'd it feel?
How'd
you feel?
I felt great talking. Like you said, man. I love real conversation with real people. I've always appreciated that. I've always respected you.
Appreciate
Again,
that.
like same with you, man. Your artistic side, all the always trying to like.
Yeah.
You know what? I always see the same in me, like in that you as me aspect. Like he always got some kind of drive. He's looking for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
And I'm
doing
looking
this, or
Yeah.
like you're just trying to all this, dude. You're blessed to have all this, and it's just awesome to see you.
Thank you.
Do something with it.
Yeah.
Like awesome.
Yeah.
Like I'm super proud of you. And
Thank you. I
awesome,
appreciate
awesome to see you still doing something.
Yeah.
The music thing, I always supported you, man.
Yeah.
You still kill it, you know what I mean?
I got people at work that are still. They want me to get back into it. I'm like, maybe one day, but it's not there for me. But I'm not saying that it's gone.
Dude,
you
I
know?
still catch myself like scribbling stuff down every now and
Yeah.
then. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your beat, dude. The other day, your last podcast you did, the 8th or 9th, we just talked or something. I don't know. You had like a little thing. You were talking about being sick and starting your new job or something.
Yeah.
And there, dude, the beat that came on before that was like, I was blowing.
I find them all on YouTube, man. I'll look for it. I'll
I
send
was
it to
listening
you.
to it. I was like,
Actually, you know what? The link's probably in the description for that episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to
that.
put them in there because they're, I got to give credit.
yeah.
But but that's it, dog.
Cool, man.
That's all a wrap. We want to stop recording now.
It takes a lot more energy to be a shitty person than it does to be a decent human being. That's something I take from Dustin. He's always been that kind of guy, just a real good dude, a decent human being. He's very private, but he's also willing to share some shit. And so here we are, wrapping up episode 35, Dustin Kimm's journey. Dustin, thank you, my man, for first of all for reaching out to me and driving an hour to sit down and talk for the Journeyman Chronicles, but really to sit and talk to an old friend. I appreciate that. It's been good. You've always been real cool and generous to me. Like he mentioned, when I used to make music and I had a performance at the Chameleon one time, in front of like 8 people. I joke around about that, but Dustin came with his brother, and I always appreciated that because at that time Dustin really just knew me for a little bit, but as they say, real recognize real. So my brother, thank you. Good luck to you and yours. I wish you luck, and I hope to see you soon. Let's make that happen. As for the rest of you, please come back next week. Until then, remember to maintain focus and stay continuous through all 4 seasons. My name is Felix C. Arroyo, and these are the Journeyman Chronicles. Y'all be safe.